I knew a man who stopped breathing for 40 years. He was like a honeycomb in whose pockets children like to rummage for treasure. When he told them of golden Amrit rivers touching the surface where purity sits, where love remains after all, the children stopped breathing and began to glow like a summer evening. Gradually, everyone took the same breath, lifted into similar heavens, and giggled when the breath returned, tickling the rim of their nostrils. But he had given away the world long ago in exchange for everything. He knew a bargain when he saw one. He was open at both ends, and there was a humming in his chest, a page from the songbook of the wind. Sometimes we just can't wait for the moon to set, for the stars to remain just a moment longer. Sometimes we just can't wait for birth, can't wait for death, can't wait for the body to wriggle free of itself when pain runs the long bones of our inescapable future. They are already preparing the earth for our arrival. Alert the microbes and the earthworms as they eat their way through that eternity resides in my heart, that they should digest thoroughly and close their mouths while chewing, lest a poem is lost. Remind the worms we long to pass through the length of them and return to soil. Put your ear to the ground and listen to the song of the earthworms, tending the shrine of our corpse, taking Eucharist from our delicious food. The quality of devotion is the gift. You know, it doesn't matter what you love. It is the quality of love in you that buoys you up. So some of these poems, the next group of poems, are called Devotion in the Air Element. And of course it begins this way. God does not answer prayer. It is a sacrilege to think so. An insult to the God-drenched hearts of all who pray through the night and in the morning are nonetheless handed a dead child. The churches in Salem used to burn heretics to increase attendance. Now, those who feel their prayer didn't reach quite far enough, that they were not pure enough, are victims of a merciless atheism that says all good fortune comes from God, though the brutal often prosper, and it is not uncommon to torture the pure of heart. We pray for the best, forgetting the unpredictable unfolding that must occur for us to learn prayer for others works better than for ourselves. We pray for the best, forgetting the unpredictable unfolding that must occur for us to learn prayer for others works better than for ourselves. Jesus prays in the Garden of Gethsemane and is refused. 10,000, 10 million prayers rise in Latin, Arabic, and Hindu. Yet their husbands and wives, children and sisters, fathers and brothers do not survive well, if at all, though in their chest beats strong the Sacred Heart. No prayers are granted, none denied. True prayer reaches well beyond the edge of the world. It enters head bowed into the arms of the beloved. This is something, it's very interesting. A friend of mine, John Welshon, a very fine fellow, who does the same work that we do, has recently published a book about prayer. And this poem was one of his things, but the editors thought this was too strong. They didn't want it to be, they didn't want any covers pulled. They thought, you pray for yourself, that's good, you pray for yourself. Praying for yourself cultivates some very unwholesome elements. It cultivates fear, it cultivates distrust, it cultivates greed, ignorance, and a kind of mercilessness. Prayer for others reverses all of that. Pray for others. Your prayer is heard in your breath. What's the movie said, you had me with hello? God has you with hello.